Welcome to Moments with Marianne. I'm so delighted we're spending this time here today. We have a very empowering show coming right up with special guest, kim-stanwood-terranova. And she's here today to share with us her new book, The Technology of Intention, Activating the Power of the Universe Within You. Now, Kim is a woman of passionate power who assists individuals with experiencing true inner greatness and unlimited authentic joy. She's been dubbed the chiropractor of the mind and the master teacher of intentional living. Kim holds a license as a practitioner of truth from the Agape International Spiritual Center in Los Angeles, and she also has earned a bachelor's degree in spiritual studies. For over 3 decades, she has immersed herself in the application and practice of universal spiritual truth and wisdom. So let's welcome to the show, kim-stanwood-terranova.
Thank you, Marianne. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh my goodness, I'm the one who's honored. Your book is absolutely so amazing. I could not wait for us to have this time together.
Oh, I love to hear that. Thank you. That's fulfilled intention right there. Thank you.
Well, why don't you share with us? Because, my goodness, you've had a journey. And I think it's something that, especially now with the difficult time we're all going through, it's something a lot of people can relate to. I'd love for you to share with us a little bit about your background and what inspired you to write this book.
Okay, great question. Inspiration came straight from spirit because I'm always listening to divine guidance at all times. And my journey is that when I first began my spiritual search, I was right smack in the middle of college and was dealing with a lot of life challenges that were extremely painful. And what happened was I was led to a wonderful spiritual belief system, which is the science of mind belief system, which gave me inspiration and tools and hope to move through life's challenges. When I started to study, lots to do with Ernest Holmes' teachings, then what occurred next was I moved to Los Angeles and found Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith, who is the founder of the Agape International Spiritual Center. And then he became my teacher for most of my life. Since those college days, I have been studying with him and really living on point of an awaken as much as I can, stay awake to spiritual tools at my very, fingertips at every moment. So he was a pivotal point in my growing edge. And through working with him, I then became a licensed practitioner of truth, which is a spiritual counselor, and started speaking and teaching in different places of the world. And it was very clear that this theme of this real beautiful core tool of intention was just calling me. It was evident of how powerful it was. And I've been practicing it for years, for most of my life. And it was important that I able to express it to the world because it's the place of creation for me. It's the place of how we create our lives consciously, is that point of intention.
Isn't that the truth? It's coming to that point of intention that everything happens. And I think that's a really key word because a lot of people get so confused by what intention is. And I'd love for you to share with us exactly what that is.
Absolutely. So intention is a spiritual tool. I believe we all have an awakened technology within us, spiritual technology right within our souls that is potent and powerful and is necessary for us to activate in this time in the world. Intention is one of those brilliant spiritual tools that we have at our access. And some people can look at it like, oh, it's similar to goals, but very different in that intention is an aim. It's a through line. It's where we're saying to the universe, spirit, source, God, whatever we name that, this is what I am aiming for. But intentions are based in qualities, not outcomes. So when we have an intention, it's like we're saying to the universe, my intention is to call forth peace today. My intention is to stand in divine love and be articulate in my expression of it. So it's a statement that's a lasered, focused, clear statement that we're propelling out into the universal field for the universal field to assist us to create, because we're always creating. Intentions give us the tool to create so consciously and to really create our life moment by moment, breath by breath, instead of having thoughts of, oh, this is going to be a hard day, which is still being created, versus what is my intention today? My intention is to move through this day with ease and grace and strength and wisdom. Right there, we're still using the power either way. Intentions helps us use it consciously and powerfully. So they're really beautiful, strong, clear statements of what we are aiming for to create in our lives without having to know how. We do not need to know how, which is where lots of people get tripped up.
Well, I think a lot of people are getting tripped up right now, especially with everything we're going through. I mean, people are losing their jobs, they're losing their homes, going through all this. But I mean, you've been through some really difficult times and you've held your intention.
Yes. Yeah, I believe it's my spiritual work and my intentions that helped me through the most difficult times. Most recently, in the last year and a half, I lost my home and my retreat center due to the Southern California fires. And so in one night, everything changed in life. And I had a major cleanse, is what I say, that everything that I ever owned my entire life and held on to was gone in seconds. And through that, if I did not have this tool of really living an intention, I don't know how I would have moved through it, because I'm grateful that my practices were very solid before this occurred in my life, but there's many other moments that my practices grew through very hard challenges. This specific one, it gave me the ability to see what had occurred. I of course, did not deny the sadness, the weight of the journey, not understanding at times how I was going to move through it. Yet I had this tool to use with every breath. So when I was able to take a breath and look up through the tears and realize there's a journey before me, and to move through it, what do I need most? And that was my question. How am I going to move through this? And I didn't say how. I said, what will I need most to move through this? And I got quiet. And what came up was flexibility, because it's a quality. People could have looked at me and said, Kim, you need a home, you need clothes, that's absolutely true. Those things were needed. My willingness to stay in intention, to be flexible, to receive support from others, to be open to solutions that I could not see with my human eye, created opportunities to come rushing in that were solutions I never could have imagined, Marianne. But if I would have tried to control it or stayed stuck in the pain of it, I couldn't get through it. So, like in what's going on in the world right now, we get to move through this together. There's so much underneath what's happening in the world. And when we come back to, and I'm watching people do it everywhere right now, to really coming back to, what is my heart telling me? What is occurring in my life right now that's meaningful? The connection of loved ones, a place to stay connected beyond our location. There's so many things that are occurring when we have an intention to still live in love, to practice ways to communicate that are beyond what we've known before, to stand in knowing there's some divine plan that's going to be a perfect solution for us. We then are activating the unlimited possibilities that could be the solutions that we haven't seen yet.
I just love that. How beautiful is that? And what's great too is your book breaks it down. I mean, you've done years and years and years of just soul searching and training and work. It's not everyone has to do all of that to be able to work intention, right?
Correct. That was my intention, was to break it down easy so that someone could pick up the book and understand easily, wow, I've got this power at my fingertips, and I activate it through my language. And as I really clear up my language to what I wish to create and then let go, I am going to watch what gets to be created in my world that I never saw coming. So I break it down simply, and I actually take it as such a big compliment when I've had people say to me, it's so nice that it's simple to digest. And people that know me say, I feel like you're talking to me in the book. And I said, good, because I'm trying to make it simple and easy so that anyone could pick it up and know how to activate these tools in a second.
Okay, well, wait a minute. I thought you were talking to me in the book. So, but there are other people you're talking to too. Oh my gosh! Isn't
it beautiful? I am talking to you, and then I'm talking to you, then I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
I love that.
Everyone that needs that assistance in developing that intention and moving life forward, because I mean, gosh, now's the perfect time to do that, right?
Yes. It's imperative. I really believe it's imperative. We are part of this opportunity right now is we have an opportunity to stay so awake to what we are creating. It is understandable. I'm going to say it in this way. It's understandable the weight of the sadness, of confusion, of, wow, what is happening in our world right now? And if we stay there, we'll stay stuck and we won't have an expansion that's really present. If we allow ourselves compassionately to know, yes, this is difficult. And as it's difficult, what is the tool I'm going to pick up? What are my spiritual tools? How can I embrace more time to meditate, to write gratitudes, to be an acknowledgement, and to set my intentions with every step I take? We have that opportunity right now. And as we set our intentions, each and every individual across the globe right now can know what is the quality that I want to live right now. And if someone just asks that question and then listens, it could be peace. It could be accepting financial abundance. It could be finding divine solutions for employment. There's nothing that's too big for spirit. Nothing. We, in our humanness, get to remember we're spiritual beings that can activate tools that keep us in alignment with the unlimited nature of the universe to create. That's powerful.
I just love that. I mean, and it's true. And your book is so easy that it breaks that all down. So what if, and I'm sure you get this all the time, because I know you're one of the most sought after coaches in the LA area that it helps people with their spirituality, spiritual growth, and all sorts of great things. So what if they come to you and they're saying, okay, I don't know what my intention should be. Yeah, I feel like I should have intentions, but I'm not even sure what they should be.
I love that question. Because I get to really open the door with them of what is it you're desiring right now. And if someone is in the midst of, say, a challenging divorce or loss of job, they get to bring to me in our time together where they're finding places that are either causing them discomfort that they so want to grow and move through. So say it was a challenging divorce. They may, if I said, what are you really wanting to call forth and experience right now? If they were able to get quiet and say, oh my gosh, I just want to know I'll be okay, or I want peace, or I want to be able to communicate clearly and not harshly. I want to be open and available to know there's a way for us to move through this, honoring all. Like those are intentions, not based on an outcome. That's the joy is really understanding the outcome is bigger than we see if we aim for the quality we want to experience. So that's where I begin is what is it you're wishing to experience right now? What quality of life? And if it's, and all of them can be included, financial abundance. If someone's feeling in lack, then it's okay. So my intention is to open pathways to unlimited financial abundance, to land in my heart, in my home, in my bank accounts. I mean, there's so many ways to take where each different individual is at and turn it to what must be cultivated within you right now to experience that. Let's aim for that is your intention instead of staying stuck in the problem. If we stay stuck in the problem, we can't get out of it.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, and it brings me to my next question for you, because I think this is where a lot of people have a little bit of a hang up. And you talk about this in your book, and I love it. You talk about intention versus expectation. What's the difference?
Beautiful. Expectation, and I really want to frame it like this. I'm discussing in the book the portion of expectation that is defined in this manner. Anything that is outside of us that we are looking to be fulfilled. So that's the expectation I'm referring to. There are some expectations in life that can absolutely support us. The ones where we get hooked up where intentions can save us, or if we have an expectation that anything outside of us could bring us the joy, the peace. Because what happens there is then we suddenly become expecting someone else or a situation to bring us fulfillment instead of generating and accepting it from within. So an expectation that we look outside, and they could be small, Marianne. We, in the human realm, we do it all the time. If we, many of us right now, if I look at people and they say, I don't have any expectations, Kim. And I said, have you been upset at all today that somebody didn't answer your text fast enough? And they go, well, yes. And I said, well, that's an expectation, because we're looking towards someone else to do something will absolutely bring us happiness. Now, in this human realm, we move and breathe with each other. So by living a life of intention, it keeps us out of the expectation that someone else must do something to activate our fulfillment or happiness. So when we know we're in expectation, if I'll be happy today, if my mate does this, or if my children get their homework done today easily, then I'll be okay. Really, I'll ask the person, what are you really aiming for underneath that? The connection with your children, peace of mind, being able to communicate clearly with my children, and knowing that I can communicate what my asks are of them and let go. Like there's places to lean into intention if we could catch we're in expectation, because that kind of expectation always is going to lead us to disappointment. The second we're in disappointment, we're out of our power of creating. So I love to look at where are we in expectation gently, because people, when they start to look at this, many of my clients will go, oh my gosh, I'm catching myself right and left. And I'll say the beautiful part is just take a breath, no judgment on yourself, because that won't help. Just observe it. Wow, I was in expectation right there. Let me take a breath. What's my intention now? And that question opens the door to creating an intention that will assist the person to create what they wish instead of living in what they don't wish. Do you see how amazing it is when it's from the smallest things to the biggest things in life?
I just love that. Oh my goodness, Kim, and it's so great to hear that, because I think a lot of times people are having a hard time separating the two, but you explain that so well. It's easy to see. It's like, okay, I think I got this. And you have this really unique gift of being able to have a laser focus on what the core thing or the core issue or the core desire a person has.
Yeah, I listen. I listen well. That has been an intention of mine, is to listen well, because I want to listen, one, to the inner voice of my own. I want to assist others by really listening to them. A teacher taught me when I first began, and I love this. She said, listen to one another as if you will be changed by what you hear. And when she said that, it just rang so true. If we could listen to one another, each of us right now, not to be right, not to change someone, to really listen as if we will be changed by what we hear, means that we're opening the door to more compassion and understanding. We may not agree with other people in life, but we can surely open the door to understanding ourselves and them if we listen. So it is definitely a core intention of mine to listen on a soul level.
It's easy to see that you really, you have this ability. It's something that comes easy for you, and it kind of dovetails nicely with my next question for you. I mean, here we are in this unique time in human history, not just U.S. history, it's human history.
Yes.
Why do you think, I mean, of all the times for a book to be released, why do you think that now's the time that the book came out?
Did you hear I had to take a huge deep breath, because it is amazing to me. Amazing, a blessing beyond measure that I never could have myself created that to happen. And yet I am standing in gratitude of the importance of this book being delivered right now. And what's very interesting is that, it was completed in the year when I didn't have a home, right after the fire took everything. And I moved 6 times in 1 year, and this book was completed. I find that so interesting. In the purpose of this is that the importance of somewhere there was something that knew there was an urging for this book to get out soon. And I know that that's the power of intention, that I said it years ago that this book would be delivered to the world at the most, at the time it was meant to be. And that intention source that was sourcing this book to be complete was not stopped because there was a fire, was not stopped because I had no place to live. The intention was already in motion. And that's something important for us to know right now, is the intentions we set right now at this time in human history. And I'm with you. It's an issue, a global issue for all of us to really come back to our unification with one another, which is spoken about in this book, is that we are one body of consciousness, and we're moving through this field right now in awareness. And all of us, each and every one of us, are being affected on some level by what is occurring on our planet. We have the positionality right now to choose again, to really be awake and choose again, and not go back to patterns that were not serving the earth, the choices that were not serving the earth or humanity or one another. We have a beautiful choice to be in our homes right now and think, and forgive me, I'm not dismissing the pain when I say a beautiful choice. I'm highly aware of where prayer is needed, where our intentions to walk with each other and hold each other through this difficult time, that's vitally important. When I say a beautiful choice, I'm pointing to what we do with it when we come back out of our homes. That we have an opportunity to take, whether it's the things in my book, the things in other, individuals that are speaking about our field of being unified as one, of bringing these tools of kindness, compassion, intention, prayer, meditation, all spiritual practices, inner spiritual technology, to activate it to our fullest potential when we are engaging again together. That is exciting to me and important, very important. So I gave you a long answer of how I think it's interesting that this book is delivered now, but I find that very interesting. And many people have said to me, thank you that I get to read this book now because I need it right now.
Oh, isn't that the truth? I mean, it's interesting when we're having the darkest times is when the light that we need shines more brightly. And I feel that your book is providing that light for so many people that are going either through suffering, loneliness, just having difficult times to be able to make, because you get to this place where you feel like, gosh, I feel pretty helpless. But by setting intention, we're giving ourselves something that we can do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We could be in our homes with that feeling of helplessness and still just go within and be still for a moment and have compassion for ourselves of that feeling. I definitely honor that we must have compassion for ourselves of all that we are feeling right now, because with compassion, then we can understand and embrace ourselves with the next question of what is mine? What is mine to give right now? What is mine to participate in? And it could be to assist my own heart and heal, to know that I'm going to move through this. And it could be to assist others, to be of service to my neighbor, to reaching out to someone in need right now. There are so many beautiful stories right now of individuals really stretching to assist others at a time that is so difficult for each one of us. So it's the lights are, I love that you said that, Marianne. Marianne, to me, the lights are being turned on everywhere. And we get to be knowing that, wait, now my light is on. Am I standing in it? And are my actions inspired actions to move through this? And intention work, creating your life by intention, opens the field for you to catch inspired actions. Can I talk about that for a minute now?
Of course. I'd love to hear that. Are you kidding?
Because I love that, lots of people would say, so Kim, do I just set the intention and then that's it?
Yeah, we're done. If that was it, this would be a short book.
I said, think of it this way. Think of it as a bow and arrow. And I addressed this in the book. I said, think of it as a bow and arrow. And the bow is spirit, the universal field of consciousness. And think of it as the arrow is your intention. And as we aim our intention. So based in the present moment, powerfully positive and based in qualities. When we put that intention into the arrow and we pull back and let go, we must let go of the intention. And then our action from that comes from a deep state of listening for inspired action, not to do, well, now I have to do this to make that happen. That's not living in inspired action. Inspired action really cultivates, back to the importance of listening, the inner guidance that all of a sudden will say, okay, complete this piece because that's in alignment with your intention. And then you do it. It could be someone hearing a voice inside saying, call this person. And they call them. I have countless beautiful stories of individuals who set their intention, let go, and then took steps from inspired action, and miracles landed, complete miracles landed, because they were able to know that that was their trust of listening to the inner guidance system within them that we each have. And as we catch the inspired action that follows in alignment with that intention, then the intention is fully supported to be created, because the universe is bringing it forward, but we are moving forward with it. So it's like in many religions call it, you pray and you move your feet. You've heard that, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Which I love.
Mm-hmm.
This is, we set our intention, and then our actions come from inspired action. They match that intention. So if someone would call me and say, Kim, I just got this opportunity to do this. Say it was a job in one area. And I'd say, my question is, does it match what your intention is? Does it follow through in alignment with your intention? And if they said, no, because I don't believe in the product, or I just would be taking it for the purpose of money or something in this other job over here, I believe in the product. I go, well, your actions will come from what's in alignment with what your intention is. We can't go wrong if we set clear intentions and then allow our actions to follow suit of those intentions. Years ago, I did a mediation in a case where two individuals were moving through divorce. And in the mediation with the lawyers, I said, they said, why don't you start, Kim? And I said, I'd love to. I said, can we set an intention that, and then I rolled out the intention that we can have a conversation that's love-filled, connected, and find solutions that honor these two individuals in a calm and clear manner by truly listening and making decisions that's honorable to both. Something like that. And they all looked at me and said, we can do that. So then throughout the rest of the meeting, if someone started to go off of the intention, all we had to do is take a breath and say, wait a minute, that's not in alignment with our intention. And we came back on it. So it gives us the arrow leads us the actions that follow.
So, okay, so this works with business. Does it also work with relationships and our finances?
Yes, everything. It works. There's no place it doesn't, because we're connected to everything. And I often will say to someone, Spirit doesn't say, oh, I'll help you over here in your relationship, but I'm not going to help you over there in your business. It's just that it's not possible. Spirit's helping us, assisting us in all ways. Our intention, our technology within, it is waiting for our aim to assist us to fulfill in all areas. So in business, I ask people, please don't, begin a new business without having a core intention of what it is. When someone's getting married, I'll say, please, what is your intention in your marriage? When someone's going through a path of healing, that their body temple is really requiring some healing, then what is your intention there? That's why when we come back to the fire that I went through, my intention was the first thing I did. My intention was to be flexible and stay open and receptive for divine solutions to rise forward. And that is what happened. We can use intention work. I ask us all to use it in every detail of our lives. I used to ask my children, they are witness to this, every day from the second they were little and started school, kindergarten, all the way through. I would ask them right before they got out of the car, before they opened that car door, what's your intention today? my intention was so that they were creating their day consciously. Even if they looked at me and said, my intention is to have a good day, Mom, and to really understand what's going on in English. Or my intention is to, have fun with my friends today at lunch. Great. They were then creating their reality instead of walking in expecting someone to do something to make them happy.
I love that. My goodness. Well, and it really makes them, the captain of their own ship of their journey, as opposed to somebody who's just kind of bouncing around on the waves.
Correct. And often when we're not being, as you just said, the captain of our own ship, what can happen sometimes is we could fall victim to the circumstances, and then we're out of power. If we're slipping into victim, look what happened to me, and our life is being based in that, we're not activating these tools that are right at our fingertips that could get us out of what happened. It's when we look at it like, okay, this went down. I'm not ignoring that it went down. I get to choose what I'm doing to move through it, that it doesn't have to hold me, but I'm going to move through it.
Yeah. Have that be something that actually is an experience that's benefiting you. And you have a quote in your book, which I love. And you talk about, something to ask yourself on a regular basis is, what gift within me is seeking to emerge in this situation? And I love that quote.
I love that question.
Mm-hmm. It's, and it's perfect because it really puts things in perspective. You look at it and you're like, okay, I'm not a victim. So what's trying to emerge here? What am I trying to learn?
Yes. And every question, I really believe that we have an option. We can ask empowering questions or disempowering questions. And when we ask a question that's an empowering as that one, there's answers everywhere. Answers will come. It's what questions are we asking? So that question opens the door to really catch there is something to learn in every situation about ourselves. And I don't ever want to stop growing. I want to be asking that question when I'm 90, what is it that to emerge in me? Because we're evolving beings always, always. And to be on our evolutionary growing edge every moment, we get to ask expansive questions. Again, come back to listening. And what is it telling us? Wow, I get to be more patient right now. I said to a client recently, in the midst of what's going on in your home and that you're, in tight quarters and you can't go out, what is being cultivated? And I call it your pearls. What pearl is being cultivated within you due to the agitation of what's going on in the world? And when she got quiet enough, she said, patience. I'm having to master patience because I've been impatient with my family and I've got to get better at being patient. And I went, great. So that's what gets to emerge right now. So then we base your intention work on that. See, if we know the answer to the question, then we have information that assists us to write a clear intention that honors what is seeking to emerge. Isn't that amazing? It all works together.
I love that. And it is, what? And when you go through the book and read it, there's so much great information and tools in there that really helps the reader. And, of course, we've gone over quite a few things that can help our listeners as well. And I just love that it's very simple. It's easy to use. You don't have to be a Buddha master sitting on in a mountain meditating for 20 years. I mean, it's something that you could start using today and inspiring your life today.
Absolutely. That is my prayer, that anyone could pick it up and go, oh, I could read this chapter and what could I jump into today? I could understand this chapter. And they are really created to be user-friendly, to really know anyone could read it and hear that there is no need for judgment on self of where any of us are. We're all on this wonderful journey together, each in different places at different times. And to know that we can each individually, wherever we're at, honor ourselves and grab a tool of where we are at that moment that will assist us the best. That's, I envision it like we all have these tool belts on, and that part of my intention is to assist people with more tools in their tool bag. And if at any moment they're coming up in a crisis on their life, of a difficulty in their life, that they can take a breath and go, which tool is going to honor me the best right now? And then have it at their access, whether it's like, what is my intention? What am I grateful for? What can I acknowledge myself for? Where can I go sit and meditate for 5 minutes or 20 minutes right now? That each of us really gets interested in our own self-care, that we know which tool we could grab at any time.
I love that. Having a little tool belt, it makes it like, hey, I can fix this. No problem. Which tool do I use?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
my goodness, in your book, you talk about clarity, which I was really surprised about. And I was like, wow, okay. I would not have thought that this would have been a portion that we'd use in our intention. And so how does clarity fit into all of this?
Clarity, that chapter is called Clarity is Power, and it is powerful. When we are muddled in our desires, we will get muddled answers back. So I was asked this the other day, that someone said, so we can be specific? And I said, we can be specific, absolutely, based in qualities. And then our intention is to let go. So the clarity comes in our intention work, that we're clear of our aim. And if you've heard, I've asked, like, well, what is this piece? What are you feeling here? So we know what is our aim, whether it's more love, to embody forgiveness, to know that financial abundance is mine, that our clarity comes from what is that you are desiring, and to be clear about it. So if someone said to me, let's see, I want to give you a good one. Kim, I'm really busy, and I can't even imagine how I'd ever fit any of these in. I don't even know how I'd add another practice to my life. And if I said to them, okay, what is it you desire? What would you like? What is the opposite of being busy? What would you desire? If they said, oh, more time, more peace, more calmness, then the clarity would come in the intention of, then my intention is to be willing to accept more peace, more calmness, more availability to stand centered in each moment. Now, the clarity is the quality. We do not, again, say how it happens, but we get clear on what we are desiring. Because if this person just stayed in, I'm too busy, I can't deal with it, I'm too busy, then they're going to stay too busy. We get to remember, be clear on what you're desiring and let go. Am I being clear in that?
You were crystal clear in that. You made that easy to understand, which is perfect, because a lot of times people look at the different things, are like, oh, how does clarity work? How does having this intention? What's the difference between intention, expectation? And then sometimes they get a little too frazzled. And it's interesting, because when you pull this all together, it has this harmonious blend. So it's really simple,
Yes. Yes, it absolutely is. It's very simple, and when we practice it, when we continue to practice it, it becomes natural. People look at me and go, "Can you give me an intention for this?" And I'll close my eyes, and an intention will come through. But I've been doing them for years because I love them. And I have many clients now that happily will send me their intention, like, look at the intention I created today, because they've been practicing them, and they're watching how, wow, if I wake up in the morning and just wherever I am today and think, oh, what is my intention today? Just that question. And if someone stills themselves, and whether they have a really full day or a challenging day, and they really think for a minute, what is my intention today to move through this day with compassion and connect with my family and be of service to those around me? The second that takes less than 10 seconds. Yeah. They just calculated and heard, that's what is going to assist me today. Then it honors where we're at, simultaneously, for lack of better words, instructs, but we place on the altar of consciousness, here's what I wish to experience even while this is occurring. So I have a client who's a nurse, and he was doing intention work before we've been in the middle of this pandemic. He was doing his intentions, and they have been heightened as he goes into the hospital every day. And when he walks into that hospital, he gets from his car and is walking in. And his question is, what is my intention today? And with that question, he listens and formulates it as he's walking in. It could be to be present, to make choices that are safe for myself and others, to be able to connect with everyone this day and call forth health in miraculous ways. It depends where he's at any moment, what his intention is. The beautiful thing is he creates one, because without it, he could walk through those doors and be tripped up in a second with everyone rushing to him with big challenges. And our intentions keep us centered in the midst of the storm, which is why right now this book is so brilliantly being placed at our fingertips so that we can use them in the midst of what we're going through right now.
Yeah, I've heard of, I've actually had people reach out to me and tell me, they've actually bought this book for doctors and nurses and different friends of theirs that work in the healthcare field or first responders to kind of help them get that clarity and set their intention, because it is so important to have that.
It's so important. It's vitally important, because it's how we walk into the room, what we're walking in with. Are we walking in prepared and open and available for what is needed for us and those we are with? Are we walking in reaction? Because without it, we're reacting to the situation instead of standing empowered in it. So, if we're the one that's in the hospital bed, I'll just use this, then our intention is to be divine listeners and call forth health and health and healing from my body temple, to stay centered, to receive the information, to allow the body to heal. If we're the one walking into the hospital room, the intention is to be of service, to stay centered and clear so that I am assisting this one before me to make decisions that honor their body temple. It's like everywhere we're at, we have an opportunity. What am I bringing into the space with me now? Keeps us out of victim, keeps us out of getting stuck, and keeps us available for the miraculous. Bigger solutions than we've seen before.
We definitely need that now. I mean, I couldn't think of a more perfect time for a book like this than right now. I mean, there's so many people that need this information.
And isn't it interesting that when the date was decided, when book was to come out, we weren't in the midst of what we are right now. So that's interesting that the timing of it all is, thank you. I'm just grateful. Thank you, Spirit, that it's coming out at a needed time.
Yeah. Well, and, talk about grateful. I mean, because you talk about gratitude as well in your book. And how is that a part of this practice?
Being grateful is so important. The gratitude chapter is actually near the end, and it's a tool that is vitally important. Wherever we focus our attention, more energy comes. That's been proven by scientists. It's evidence that where our attention is, more builds in that area. When our attention is on all that we're grateful for, then more that we are to appreciate comes to us, because our perception is, I'm grateful for this. Doesn't mean we're ignoring everything else that is occurring, but when we're seekers of what to be grateful for, then more things to be grateful for show up, because our attention is right there. We're telling the universe, I'm aware that this is happening in my life, and I'm so grateful for it. I'm so great. When I go running through the mountains, I'm just so grateful that I have legs to run, that they could run, and feet that are landing on the earth, and that I could see these mountains right now. Like, we can be grateful for the things that we tend to take for granted, our beloved and the called, when they reach out and call us. We could be grateful to look outside, even if we're just looking from a window right now, and see nature, or see someone we care about across the street, and we can be grateful for small things that keep our hearts in alignment for more good to land. Our gratitude expands everything. We're seeing clearly instead of from a limited perspective. And that same chapter, I talk about acknowledgement, which is I encourage everyone to read that chapter and really take on those practices, because they assist in more intentions being fulfilled when we can acknowledge ourselves and our participation of where we're activating goodness and greatness and seeing ourselves rightly. Then it's absolutely in alignment for intentions to be fulfilled in our lives, because we're aware of where we're participating in our lives. So I encourage everyone to read that chapter and really take on those practices. And those in my life who have are finding great results from them.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, I felt that the book, The Technology of Intention, was extremely powerful for me, and it changed my practice. So is it a book that could be used for all ages?
Yes. I have children that have been doing this work. I work with a lot of small children, and I've to watch a child create their intentions, to watch a child write their gratitudes or speak their gratitudes if they're not writing yet, is building an availability of consciousness within our youth so that they have the tools to move through the challenges of life. It's imperative to me that this is used and activated with all ages. There's no age too young, no one too old, that we can't look again at what's possible in our ability to co-create our lives. And when just the thought, it excites me so much to know children growing up with applying tools to keep them awake as global citizens. What's possible then? When they are truly looking at each other with eyes of compassion as they grow up into adults that are conscious, awake, grateful, acknowledging themselves and others, truly living a life of intention and creation, it is going to be a beautiful thing.
Oh my goodness. And to be a part of that evolution, I mean, how inspiring is that?
So exciting. It's so exciting. I have a client who, her mother works with me, and so this little girl would always observe her mother, going to her room to have phone sessions because they live in another state. And when she was in third grade, she got on the phone and said, I need help. I need an intention because the girls are bullying me at the lunch tables. And my heart just expanded. And I said, okay, so what is it you want to experience when you go to lunch? And she said, I want to make new friends, and I want to have a group of people that I could talk to and be friends with and know that I have a safe place at the lunch table. And I said, fabulous. So that's your intention. And we wrote it down. My intention is to accept new friendships and ease and joy at, my lunchtime. She got back on the phone a week later, just jumping out of her skin, telling me that she has 3 new friends. Everything's great at school. Now, in third grade, she entered high school this year. And before I even asked, it makes me teary-eyed, she sent me her intention and said, I just want you to know, before I enter high school, here's my intention. And I wish I had it memorized, but it was something like this: to move through my high school years with strength and confidence and making friends and expanding my ability to be a good student. Something like that.
Oh my gosh.
It was beautiful.
It's amazing. And to be a part of that development, oh my goodness.
She's creating her life consciously. And that's what's so beautiful. Our youth can absolutely grab these tools and know, okay, let me create right now. They're quick. They want to participate in this evolutionary shift on our planet. They want to. So yes, this book gets to go to as many places as possible. I'll be working on a workbook section so that it can easily be applied for students as well. So there's a lot more to come, Marianne, which is very exciting.
A lot of good stuff. Oh my goodness. There's so much that your book covers that we haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg on. I mean, and I've been lucky enough to be able to have had a couple of sessions with you. Are you still taking new people for sessions?
I am. I'm pretty full right now, and I always am open and receptive to absolutely taking on new clients, and there always seems to be a perfect fit.
Oh, isn't that just amazing? Well, I know that usually when we have our time together, you start and end in prayer, and I'd love for you to share a prayer with us.
Oh, I would be honored. All right, any certain prayer you would like right now, or a general prayer?
Just any prayer that you feel is fitting would be perfect.
Okay, perfect. Let me just take a breath and tune in. In this moment, in every moment, I'm so eternally grateful to live in this field of awareness where I'm clearly in knowing that there's one power, one presence, honoring the path of each individual across this globe and beyond. Of that presence's name, Spirit, God, the universe, higher power. I'm accepting and knowing that it is all love, and that this powerful force of love that moves through each and every one of us with every action, every thought, every word, that we are awakened beings this day, remembering who we are. I bless and accept that our ability to be open and receptive to the miraculous this day, that across the earth right now, there are just wake-up calls occurring, and in each and every one of us, lean into that field of love, of truth, and expand our listening so that we stay connected and whole during this time. That we move through this evolutionary time with a heart that is open and available to know we are unified beings, and that we make choices that are honorable for all. I bless each and every individual hearing these words with peace beyond human understanding, with wholeness, with vitality and strength, with all needs met, with there being a place within their bodies that is resonating with the truth of their inner technology, that they tap into it, activate it, and allow it to lead their lives. I bless us all. I bless this earth on this beautiful day, and I trust the journey we are upon. And so it is. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Kim. My goodness, I love when we have this time together.
Me too.
And then we get to talk about your new book on top of it. My goodness.
Yes.
So where can our listeners connect with you and be part of your community and learn about the technology of attention?
There's so many beautiful ways. So definitely on my website, which is kim-stanwood-terranova.com, as well as in social media on Facebook and Instagram. I'm at Kim Stanwood. You can find me often at Agape and speaking there at times with Reverend Michael, as well as I am one of the facilitators at Rhythmia Life Advancement Centers. So I'm in all different places right now, and very happy that I move through all of them with strength and gratitude and joy. So I would love to connect with all, and I'm open and receptive to any of those pathways that you can find me. I'm here.
Well, Kim, you are such a bright light in the world. I'm so grateful that we got to spend this time together. Thank you so much.
Marianne, thank you. Thank you for your consciousness and the gifts you bring to the world. And thank you for allowing me to be with you and share this book. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you.
Well, Kim, it is us who are grateful that you are here to share your new book with us today, The Technology of Intention, which is available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all indie retailers. And of course, you can order it at Target. Now, The Technology of Intention is a bestseller in 3 categories on Amazon. And so that says a lot about this book. It is flying out of Amazon. So if you'd like to learn more about Kim, the work she does, and possibly schedule an appointment, you can at kim-stanwood-terranova.com for more information. Well, we're at the end of our time today. I would like to thank everyone for tuning in. You're listening to Moments with Marianne. And remember, make every moment count.
In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Marianne is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Her guests are leaders in their fields, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, and business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary. A recognized leader in her own work, and while teaching others to develop, refocus, and grow, Marianne will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. You never know just which moment will change your life forever. Moments with Marianne airs every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Make sure to tune in and visit momentswithmarianne.com for more information.